Razzle Dazzle. It's Body by Basil, the new exciting fitness craze that will get you canary cry swole in no time at all. Just listen to these quotes from our participants. My muscles are huge. It's all or Nephilim. You'll be an apocalypse warlord in no time. Don't wait. Order today and save 33% for just 4 easy payments of only $33.33. You too can have the body of a googly eye VR headset wearing Nephilim warlord.
A new, raw deconstruction of news and analysis. Introducing Canary Cry News Stalk, the new intense fragrance made specifically for thinking outside the cage. From your favorite podcasters, Basil and Goms.
Gons, can you hear me? I'm hearing reports about a prototype Flippy arm.
Don't tell me. Flippy is coming for our jobs.
That's right. You know what this means.
Yeah, it's wake-up time. Think outside the cage.
In a world where survival is paramount and the wasteland throws its worst at you, only the strong can thrive. Introducing Emu Energy Drinks, with an apocalyptic powerhouse packed into every can, keeping you sharp, focused, and ready to tackle the wasteland with ease. An epic pick-me-up of haphazard chemicals, strong aftertaste, strange side effects, and unmatched rejuvenation. Emu Energy Drinks. Stay alert, stay alive.
It's the bunker! Basil's Bunker End Time Supply Subscription Service. Plans starting at just $17.76 a month. No hidden fees. Cancel anytime. 33-day money-back guarantee. Call now for a chance to win an attachable six-finger. Perfect for plausible deniability and AI generations and for your secret Nephilim handshakes. Call now. 1-877-740-3226. Basil's Bunker is solely operated by the Razzle Dazzle Ranch. CCR, CCNT, and the Shimura Estate are not responsible for any claims or guarantees. Call now.
Welcome to Basil's Bunker, where we have many amenities in the advent of coming societal collapse. Bohemian Grove generators powered by Chinese lithium cobalt batteries. Anti-air defense systems rivaling the IDF Iron Dome. Endless end times food ration buckets. And recreational activities like emu wrangling or Monty pet training.
Razzle dazzle bunkaroos. Glad everybody's here. Oh, I forgot to do the countdown. Oh, how am I supposed to get through all this administrative stuff? Well, I guess I'll just do it in the show here. What's up, everybody? You're here for another Basil's Bunker. That's right. Going solo. All alone. Feel so alone. But I see, who do I see over in the chat here? Okay, we got people coming in. We got Elio and Joydar on Rumble, Most Mundane, Salda Paul, Kristen. We got the VIP team here today. Thank you, Susie Cute over on Rumble, Daniel, Doctor Who Done Dat in the house. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome. Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing a take two of Basil's Bunker. This whole thing starting to take form, starting to take shape, and we're doing it together, folks, because it is not by my strength that this silly idea is going to do anything. But I do want to give a big old shout out to so many of the producers who made their voices heard in the Basil Bunker aftermath of Monday. Now, is it strange that there's two Basil's Bunker in one week? Yes, it is. But, you know, it's just sort of how the calendar works sometimes. Gons and I were talking about doing a Twitter Spaces today, but we're keeping Gons in our prayers because both of his children have sicknesses. One has sorry, the show burps are starting early. One has a flu, the other has a cold. I don't know which is which. And I don't know if Gons knows which is which either. So we're going to keep Gans and his children in our prayers today. Ooh, Susie Cute in the Rumble says, are you going to talk about skin cancer today? Maybe. I could very easily get myself in trouble. See, this is part of the problem with doing these sort of loosey-goosey solo shows is I got to remember that I'm still on the Canary Cry channel, and I don't want to do anything that could put anything at risk. In fact, I meant to do this last show, but I'm going to do it this show right now. Here, wait and listen to this for 38 seconds. Oh, nope. Okay. I forgot that the audio is not included in the video because Gans has his own absolutely nutball way of of producing the technical part of the show on his end, and it includes playing video and audio separately. I have no idea. Honestly, I think he does it just to gatekeep. He's doing it to gatekeep the technical production of the show. For those who are watching, you're seeing the automation for the disclaimer playing, ending with "we're good boys." Anyways, I guess I'll just say for the sake of it, here's a disclaimer. I'm not a professional in anything. I'm not a professional of medicine, nor of law, nor of warfare, nor of survival. Definitely don't get all of your survival tips from me. I am not a Bear Grylls. I am just a humble podcaster with a passion. So anything I say or do on this podcast should be completely ignored by everybody. That should be enough, right, YouTube? Yeah, okay. Big shout out to all the producers who sent in messages. This means a lot. This is why we're doing this again, is because the producers getting involved. Everybody sending emails. Let's see, just a couple shout outs. Shout out to Lindsay. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Runk Smash. Who else? Thank you, Ike. Sir Ike got in here. Who's this? Oh, Travis. Thank you very much, Travis. Thank you. What's your name? What is your name? Oh, Carol Ann. Thank you very much, Carol Ann. Who else? Thank you to everybody. I'm sure I'll find more as I should have just gotten their names. I should have put them in a spreadsheet. I should have been ready to go. But this is how the show is going. We're getting slightly more organized. Very slightly more organized every show, Bunkaroos. And get used to being called Bunkaroos, because I think that was maybe the most valuable thing that most valuable piece of IP, intellectual property, that came out of last show. Let's see. Stefan in the chat says, Basil's Bunker featuring Richie from Boston. It has been a long time since I've spoken with Richie from Boston. I'm open to that. I don't care. I mean, not that I don't care. I would love to talk to Richie. Here's the thing. Shoot, something just went in my brain and it just shot right out the other side. Anywho, let's see what we can get into. Man, here's where I want to start. There's a couple places I can start, and if you're in the chat, maybe you can help me figure it out. I wanted to talk a little bit about talking to your normie friends, the normals, the regular people, the people who might describe you as a tinfoil hatter, and talking to them about just because you love them, just because they are in your life, and just because you know that if something happens, they are going to be coming straight to you for help anyways. And so, how can we start integrating these people who are waking up to what's going on in the world, whether or not we have anything to do with it, and get them started on preparing for what's going on? This has been a big theme in my life throughout this year as things keep getting crazier and crazier. So I thought maybe talking about that, maybe we can take a call or two on that as well. The other one is Runk Smash sent me a great email regarding, the idea of bunkers in the Bible. But there's not a whole lot of bunkers in the Bible. However, Runk Smash sent me on a rabbit trail, a biblical rabbit trail, to try to get some context for bunkers in the Bible. And folks, you're not going to like it. This is going to be a this. I love this. I love doing it live because this is a good opportunity for all of us to get real with ourselves and get real with each other when it comes to contending with the interaction between our sort of, worldly paranoia and maybe over education on what's going on in the world and our faith. That is definitely something that will continue to pop up on this show because mainly, you know what? If this show is nothing but a Truman style look into me talking to myself and working through the philosophies and theologies of getting ready for the end of days, I don't know what it is. I hope it brings some value to people in their own lives. A big shout out to 122 Go 2. We are on the Twitch today. We are on the Twitch. I figured it out. I didn't even have to text Gons. I almost texted Gons, but I just jumped in. I think I got it figured out. So what's up to what I think is our only Twitch viewer right now, 122 Go 2. Appreciate it. Is there some good thoughts coming in here? Some good thoughts while I'm talking. Salta Paul says, maybe we're overeducating on what's going on. Yes, that does occur to me. That does occur to me. Can we be overeducated? TW says, stay strong in the Lord and in the bunker, Basil. Welcome to the bunker, folks. Should we be here? We don't know. We're going to figure it out. I see, thank you, chat, for latching on as enthusiastically as I have about the term bunkaroo. So here's the thing. There's, also in the show, what did I have lined up here? I also had some, we talked about billionaires and their bunkers. I went ahead and got into some bunker real estate for you guys. Well, we can dig up some bunker real estate. This is something if you're new to the show, which everybody is. If somebody out there by chance is watching me for the first time, this is a very fun opportunity for you. But I do live off the grid. I've been off the grid for 2 years now. Maybe that's where we'll start. No, I don't know. Okay. Been off the grid for 2 years now. Not a pipe, not a wire going to my abode. And so there's been lots of learning the hard way, and lots of people asking, how can they do it? What is it like? My one and only, not one and only, my main thing that I have to say to anybody who is asking about going off the grid, what does it take, all that stuff, it's almost entirely mindset. And this mindset needs to include, are you okay with not having electricity until you figure out a problem? Because that is the thing that started it's probably about 2 weeks into my move here off the grid. The abode that I moved into did have a very old, very bad solar system installed. Very old. I mean, 20 years, which in solar system years is like 100 years, is extremely old. And the electricity worked fine for about a week, for literally about 8 days. And then it started going out almost immediately. It would go out, the sun goes down, it'd be like 7 o'clock in the evening. I could see the lights dimming. I could see things begin to shut down around the house, and boom, instantly would just be left. It was a camping trip. It was a camping trip every night. And which is a really scary thing to happen when you are just getting in the mood. Now, over the years, I've built out my own solar system now. I have not had to get rushed to the hospital by electrocuting myself, which is a totally a possible thing that can happen. Be very, very careful, people, if you're doing this. But more than anything, the thing that has been maybe the most valuable of all is the necessity to learn these skills. This is an entirely foreign concept to generations of people. And folks, I am not coming at you to pretend that I am some sort of Bear Grylls. I am not coming at you to pretend that I am some sort of man's man who has spent years learning certain crafts. I have no formal education in, I don't know, electricity or plumbing or anything. And all of it is throwing yourself, going off the grid, trying to do the thing, trying to live a different way, is 100% reliant on your ability, your not just like physical ability or mental ability, your emotional ability for when the power goes out on a Wednesday or the plumbing explodes in the middle of the winter. There is no calling someone. There is no waiting until the weekend to fix something. Something goes bad, that's your day. That is your day. That is the kind. I was going to say warn everybody. I'm not warning anybody. I'm just telling you what to expect. So that's the kind of stuff that you can expect doing it. And I over the past couple of years, plenty of people have emailed me personally to ask for advice on how to do this. I'm thinking I sent a pretty extensive email to somebody. This was maybe 2 weeks ago. And I don't send extensive emails to a lot of people. But this person reached out and was so legit, was so heartfelt, was taking it very seriously, and explained a little bit about their life and how they wanted to go off grid, but like really wanted to know like the real story about how to do it. And I wrote them like maybe a whole page or something of an email. And so maybe if I can figure out how to do this show while search my email, that might be a good place to start. Or if we don't get to it today, I can get to it on another show. Let's see here. Just checking the chat real quick. Checking the chat. Oh yeah, Gabrielle, thank you very much. Says pretty rad if off-grid podcasting. Thank you very much. I think it's a pretty good gig. I think it's a pretty good. I mean, it would take me a long, long time to commute to a job. I am not above doing a different job, but the Lord has blessed me to be able to do this podcasting thing. Luckily, nowadays, there are lots of different ways to get internet to your off-grid property. Obviously, I was going to say Skynet. Obviously, Skynet. Obviously, what is it called? SpaceX? Starlink. That's what it is. Obviously, Starlink is a pretty good option. I've had a Starlink for a couple years now, and I have had the worst luck with Starlink. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I do research out at Burning Man. So go out to Burning Man. Every single year that I've gone out to Burning Man with Carl Tykrib to do the Burning Man research and bring it back to you guys, every year I've brought out a Starlink unit, and every year it has failed. I have never had luck with Starlink. And that was the first one. The first one just stopped working. It just never worked, stopped working. And then last year, I called Starlink. I'm like, guys, this isn't working. Can you help me out? They said, yeah, sure, no problem. They sent me a new one. They sent me a whole new thing. I'm like, holy smokes, great. Let's get this one set up. I got it set up at the house. I had it all set up. I had the satellite thingy out there in the yard or the dirt, and the network was working. And then it was literally 48 hours later, I absolutely demolished the satellite for the Starlink with a truck. Just totally demolished it, destroyed it. I was so dejected that I didn't even tell Starlink that it happened. I didn't even do anything about it. And then last but not least, it was just recently, did I purchase one of the new Starlink things. Because here's the thing. Here's a little tip for the off-grid internet users. My internet is beamed to my house with a laser from like 10 miles away. Some guy has a tower with a bunch of lasers on it. And it's just this small business guy. It's just some guy who put up a tower and helps, rural people get access to the internet. And, if you, depending where you are, if you have Comcast or what's the other one? Whatever, some internet company. If you have a problem with your internet, you got to call a phone line. You're getting on chat for help with a robot. You're making your way through automated phone things. It's horrible. I just send a text to Bob. I got a guy named Bob, and I text Bob and say, hey, it's running a little slow today, buddy. The podcast is suffering. Can you help me out? And he's like, yeah, roger that, Basil. Let me open up the pipes. And he opens up the pipes. My boy Bob, keeping the lasers blasting to keep this show on the air. So thank you very much, Bob. I don't know if he knows about the show or if he listens, but he can see all of my internet traffic. So, he could probably see that I have multiple streams and stuff going out right now. So, hello, Bob. Thank you for everything, Bob. Yes, Gabby, I ran it over with my truck. I demolished it. It was a very sad day. Shout out to Bob. Thank you, Stefan. Okay. Here we go. The crazy podcaster brain trying to remember where we were at. There's just some tips. There's some tips, some nuggets for anybody out there who is thinking about going off grid. Here's the thing. We're all thinking about going off grid, especially millennials. Millennials, they've all been thinking about going off grid since childhood. There's not a single millennial on this earth who does not want to go off grid, who does not want to get goats, who does not want to get chickens, separate from society, do their thing. Coincidentally, all millennials want to do a podcast too. It's just something with their generation. And so with the way that the world is right now, we're running out of time. People are running out of time. And here's the thing. The system, my friends, the society that you live in, the economic system that you live in, the real estate industry, the work, the labor market, everything is literally trying everything it can do to keep you in cities. We know this. We know the plan. We know the plan, folks. They want to keep you in cities. They want to keep you in densely populated areas. They want to keep you close to your neighbors so you can keep an eye on each other, so you can snitch on each other. They don't like wide open spaces. They do not want you to even feel the breeze on your face. They want to chop down all the trees in your neighborhood. They want to replace it with 5G towers. And they want to use your blood as antennas. Allegedly. It's a fun theory. But you know this. Everything about our society is not only making it physically or financially difficult for people to get out of the cities and live a life they want to live, but even emotionally and spiritually. Now, here's the thing. I believe community is very important. And that's one thing about going off grid. You want to make sure that you have some sort of connection with people off grid with you or in your area. Community is very important. But like the devil does, the adversary will take a concept, a biblical concept, and counterfeit it or twist it or something to use for purposes that are not in your best interest. And that's why you have all these, you know the types who are trying to convince you that you got to stay in tightly packed urban areas because community is how you survive. You got to have people. You got to get involved. You got to let everybody into your business. That's how it's safety in numbers. You know the types. I will say, going off grid, you definitely do need to be much more intentional about building a network with people who are doing similar things. So, spiritually, emotionally, socially, the real sad part is people are feeling that it's not even possible. There are so many mental and emotional and social hurdles to pursuing some sort of off-grid lifestyle. And I think this is not a what's the word? This is not a, I don't know, not trying to be mean here, but what I'm saying is it's built into our programming to take pleasure from fantasizing about how you could go off grid someday. You say, oh, someday, when I make enough money, or when the kids are old enough, or when the market is right, or when I'm more established, whatever it is. It's really this someday idea, I think, is what keeps more people on the grid than anything. And I'm telling you, folks, it was just a moment. Oh, I mean, I've told this story before, but it was during COVID. It was 2021, I believe. And I literally had the most visceral dream that I had ever had. And in this dream, I walk out my front door of where I was living before, and all the neighbors are there. It was the actual neighbors. Like in my real life, I could see them. It wasn't just faceless strangers. It was all my neighbors. And they were running around with baseball bats. They were busting into each other's cars. They were stealing from each other. It was complete chaos. The sky was this weird purple color. I remember it very well. And I woke up the next morning, and I was just like, yep, nope, now's the time. You know, I don't have a whole lot of I don't dream a ton. At least that sort of memorable, visceral dream type of thing. I don't dream, or at least I don't have memorable dreams every night. But this one really stuck with me. And from there until actually setting foot off grid, it was maybe about 3 months, something like that. And here's a few keys. I will talk about more of this stuff on future episodes. But just a couple of things that I can tell you from someone who's done it. It is not as expensive as you are led to believe. It is not as difficult as you are led to believe. However, there is a mindset that you need to have that is probably the last thing that anybody's thinking about when they're thinking about off-grid. And that's that mindset of like self-reliance, which is a good idea. I mean, a lot of us like to think that we could or are or would be self-reliant in one way or another. But the idea being, you don't need to be an electrician. You don't need to have plumbing skills, but you need to have the kind of temperament that will allow you to become an electrician in a day if you got to figure it out. That you will just need to figure out how to do plumbing, at least until you can get a professional to come out. That sort of thing. And I don't think it's a special person necessarily. People might say, oh, that's a very special kind of person. No, there's just a person who hasn't quite thought out the consequences of trying to do electricity stuff on their own or something like that. So there you go. Just a little bit of mindset for everybody. Gabby in the chat is absolutely right. Being an electrician is a bonus. That is true. Electricians out there, I don't know why you're not already off grid. You gotta just, it's about 50% of the project. Interesting question from Stefan. Stefan says, do you and Gons butt heads on this topic sometimes with him sticking to SoCal because of family? Good question. Do you and Gons butt heads on this topic sometimes? Because sticking it to SoCal because of family. I don't know if I'd call it butt heads. We don't. It's not. There's no conflict in there necessarily. But yes, I have invited Gons to come be close to me, bring the family. We can both do the thing. I try my very best to make it sound like a possibility for Gons. And I'm sure he appreciates it. But Gons, and I have no judgment on this, but Gons feels that that's basically an impossibility for him, which makes sense. He's got family in SoCal. He's got a whole life in SoCal. His wife has a whole life in SoCal. Everybody's kind of dug in out there. And that is one of the biggest difficult parts about it, is it's not just you're moving your home off grid, it's you're moving your entire life off grid, which for some people might actually find that that's a good thing, but for others it can be more difficult for sure. Furf says, I keep trying to get people to start the branch for Furfidians compound with me, but no takers. Oh, well, I do. Do I have some for you, Furf? Okay. Just for fun. We're just going to do some stuff for fun here for a second. Liar Bliss says I might want to learn how to train a dog. I will say this. Off grid, you got a lot of time and a lot of necessity. I never thought I would get dogs, much less train them. I have spent so much time training these dogs, and they are surprisingly, I'm not going to call them smart because they're little dummies, but they are surprisingly picking up the training quite well, which is definitely not something that I thought I would ever do. Furf says, I'm poor, Baz, that's why. I'm telling you guys, it's not as expensive as you think. Okay. Wow. I like people being in the chat. I could just do the chat thing all day. But let me bring you some stuff. Here we go. Just for fun. And this is not to... This is... I don't know exactly what to say about this. This is not a realistic necessarily thing that I'm sharing with you. This is definitely not going to make the point that I was saying, that it's easier and more affordable to go off grid than you think. But just for fun, I looked up a little, let's just do a little prepper paradise, a little prepper real estate. I'm trying to think if there's something that we could call prepper real estate. Bunker. I need more real estate words. Okay, chat. We got to find a name for this segment where we'll take a look at some real estate. And Furf, this one's for you, Furf. Okay, this is from Realtor.com, just straight up Realtor.com. The headline is Prepper Paradise, and this just came out April 10th, 2024. Prepper Paradise, bumper crop of bunkers for sale in South Dakota, quote, survival community. All right, South Dakota. I know we have some listeners in South Dakota. I don't know how many people are in South Dakota, but that's a great place to get off the grid. Okay, we got a whole community, Furf. Listen up, Furf. A whole community, a survival community. 3 bunkers that can be turned into safe homes are for sale in a prepper town near Edgemont, South Dakota. Okay, 3 bunkers that can be turned into safe homes. Why don't they just say bunkers? They're saying safe homes. Okay. A former Army property houses the 575 concrete and steel bunkers, many of which have already been converted into escape shelters, vacation homes, or full-time residences. Why can't they be all 3? A bird just hit my window, which really freaked me out. This bird wants from birds? That's a really good question. Okay, going on. For those with a prepper state of mind, this might be paradise. Now, this is an interesting insight because real estate, the most normie possible thing ever to talk about. I mean, I love the realtors. I love you realtors. But some people in my life have become realtors, and they are not the types of responsible people that I would think would have what it takes to facilitate the exchange of the biggest financial decisions that some people will make in their entire life. If you knew the people from my high school who have now become realtors, it would horrify you. It would horrify any of us. Realtors, they're interesting people, folks. Love them or hate them. I love them. But they are not like you and I. They are different kind of people. Anyways, so this, what was the point? Oh, the point was this. We've noted recently how prepping and bunkering, preparing for things to go south, bug out bags, all this kind of stuff has become extremely mainstream. It's an extremely mainstream thing to talk about now. And so when you start seeing regular prepper real estate ads, this is like an article on realtor.com, it really makes you think about where society is now and where it is going. Okay, it goes like this. Quote, "It's a safe home community. I don't know of any other community quite like it," says Jared Stokes with Exit Realty Black Hills. Exit Realty is a great name for bunker real estate. He's the listing agent for two of the bunkers that are on the market, one of which is listed for $50,000 and the other for $64,950. That is a steal, folks. That's an absolute steal. Hold on. I'm going to open up these links because it looks like we'll get a little bit more of an inside look as to the actual bunkers. Okay. Quote, you hear of some here and there with missile silos, but this one's a prepper community where they can go and get away from the buzz of life. Okay, preppers community. They got some pictures here. These are, yes, quite obviously sort of underground military bunkers made of concrete with dirt and stuff kind of burying it. Another bunker is listed for $69,900 with Dixie Whitaker of Keller Williams Realty Black Hills. This is an advertisement, folks. This is an advertisement for real estate. The prices differ based on what has already been done to the bunkers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's check out one of these things here. Okay, this one is for a $64,950, 2,080 square feet. Okay. I think that's good. I don't really know. Estimated $512 a month. Come on, folks. That's less than a lot of people's car payments. Here we go. We have single family property type. It's been on the market 139 days. Somebody needs to come in and sweep this up. That's an easy buy. $31 per square foot. Built in 1945. Well, that gives you just a little bit of insight, don't you think, into what these bunkers were originally planned for in 1945. They got some pictures here. Beautiful sort of Midwest South Dakota skyline, which is to say absolutely flat. Lots of, grain, lots of plants, this is a real America here. Got a couple pictures. They really only there's not much to take a picture of. It's just a piece of concrete from the outside with a door, a very scary, strong looking door. Okay, now we're on the interior. That's actually not bad. The interior is very clean. It's for those listening, it looks like an airplane hangar, sort of a domed, long, open room. Lots of space for activities. Lots of room to grow with the kids. The nice open floor plan here. You can see the front door from all the way in the back. This is a steal. $64,000. They included a random picture of what looks to be a pipe coming out of the ground. Is that supposed to be your plumbing? That might be your plumbing hookups. Oh yeah, plumbing is a bit of an issue in this. I wonder how they get around to that. Oh, somebody earlier in the chat asked if I use composting toilets. I do not use composting toilets. I do have a septic tank. But I have neighbors that use composting toilets. And honestly, they seem totally fine. I got nothing bad to say about composting toilets. Grab a composting toilet, slap it in this military bunker. Again, more pictures of dirt, more pictures of dirt. Here's more dirt. Here's a guy's truck, more dirt. You got to give it to this guy. How he squeezed out 26 pictures of this one room made of concrete is very impressive. All right, there you go, folks. What will it take? What will it take to get you in this bunker here? What do I need to do? You need to change your life, change your attitude. You can get this beautiful, gigantic cement block out in the middle of South Dakota. Quote, I know a resident out there that has one with a loft included. Okay, build a loft. That's good. There's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, hot water on tap, huge sink, solar batteries, Stokes says. When you step into it, it feels like you're in a modern day home with all of the conveniences, but you're completely off grid. That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Stokes. Just as some quick math off the top of the head, you can get into this bunker for 64 grand. Expect, if you do your own installation, and I recommend doing your own installation always, maybe spending 20 grand on a good solid solar installation. And that's all you need. You really don't need anything else. You'll figure it out, folks. Okay, so there you go. Totally possible. South Dakota. Do you have what it takes to go to South Dakota? And this one comes in built in with a community of like-minded people. This is your chance, Furf. If you're trying to start some sort of bunker commune, this is where you start. Just checking the chat real quick. Everybody's got a lot of good ideas about turning this bunker into something. Psalm 40 says 2,500 square feet is like 400K around my way. Yeah. 2,000 square feet is pretty good. Lots of grass. You can look at lots of grass. No one said you have to live in the bunker. Just park the tiny house RV next to it. Folks, that is also a totally viable option. Just get yourself an RV. Get yourself an RV. Go park that out wherever you want to park it. Okay. I'm going to show you this other thing here. This is not an ad. This is not I have no context for this website. I do not know anything about them except for what we are going to find together. But somebody really pulled the trigger on this and started survivalrealty.com. If you don't like the bunker, you don't like the military bunker, check this out. 20,000 square foot limestone cave. Huh? Natural lighting. Nice, oopsies. Nice, I don't know. It's artsy. It's artsy. You don't want to live in a cave? You too good to live in a cave, huh? 20,000 square feet? That's like the size of a Jeff Bezos house. You want to live like Jeff Bezos under the ground. 20,000 square foot limestone cave. This is in Arkansas. Looking, loading very slowly. Thank you, survivalrealty.com. Oh, good. They have a video here that will tell you about the property. The video is titled The Worm Room Speaks for Itself. You don't want to live in a giant limestone cave with a worm room? I'm a little scared to play this on the show. I'll give it a try. Let me know if you can hear this or can't hear this. It's 4 minutes long. Okay. Oh, okay. A little bit of clutter. Yeah. See if I can. You can. Worm room. Okay. Just more rocks. Just a little. Just a little bit of clutter. Just a little clutter right there. Don't worry, you got 20,000 square feet. You got room to move. And you got storage. You got storage room. This is a great option, folks. And it's got a worm room. Well, you think you're too good to live in a cave with a worm room? Okay, now this I should have seen before. This is priced. This is priced as 1.5 million. But that's a steal for a cave with a worm room. 1.5 mil, that's nothing. Let's see what they say. Description. This hidden natural underground shelter is private and secluded. Yep, it is a cave. It is located on 90 acres. This is a whole thing. 90 acres of hardwood forested land in northern Arkansas near Mountain View, the self-proclaimed folk music capital of the world. You get culture. Not only you get 90 acres, where you can do whatever you want, 90 acres, get a 20,000 square foot cave to live in with a worm room, the cultural center of Arkansas. I don't know what you people have to complain about here. 1.5 mil. There is abundant wildlife on the property, food. It is quiet here. Thank you. Good. It is peaceful here, and the sounds of the day consist of birds singing and tree leaves rustling, the breeze overhead. 1.5 mil. You can't pay for that kind of peace, folks. Oh, I see this does. Wow. Hold on. There's a story here. It says, my good friend has passed away, and he has willed this property to me. But I live in Washington State, so I'm putting this property up for sale. If you've been looking for your own personal safe place, you already know properties like this don't come along very often. Your friend left you the worm cave. You guys are good friends. That's a good friend. Friends out there listening, are you listening to me, friends? Please leave me the worm room, the worm cave when you're done. When you're done on Earth, please. What a special gift. What a special gift this man left his friend or a woman. I don't know. Now get a load of this. There's city water, phone, power, and septic on the property. So it's not actually off grid. That's very interesting. There's a good cell phone reception. Folks, don't come complaining to me about going off grid. Get yourself a worm cave. Get yourself a good friend to leave you a worm cave. All right? Well, survivalrealty.com, there's a good chance. Here's the thing. I'm not condoning. I'm not advertising for survivalrealty.com, but I do appreciate the service they have brought this show. So maybe we'll check in with survivalrealty.com in the future, because I'm seeing right now, underground mine for sale. There's a mine. Where's this mine? Scrolling. These people are writing a lot about these caves. The description for these off-grid caves are 10 paragraphs apiece. They got a lot to write about these caves. Beaver County, Utah. Come on, Beaver County. Look at this. The opening picture, that's your foyer. You're looking right into your foyer. Wouldn't you like to come home to that? If you're just listening, I'll give you a hint. It's a cave. You're looking into a cave. Spacious entryway. Natural lighting. Natural textures. It looks like you might need to crawl when you get down a ways. That's a steal. All right, folks. Let's talk about some other stuff. Thank you all. Oh, Dustin says didn't get a text for Basil's bunker. Ooh, let me check. Let me check and make sure. Because here's the thing. Usually when I'm sending the text and stuff, Gons and I are working kind of side by side. I'm sending the text while he's doing other stuff. And when I'm doing it all myself, yeah, okay, it went out. Sorry if you didn't get it. Here's the thing, folks, about the text message alert system. To get on the list, you got to text the word canary. You can't text anything else. You got to text the word canary to 877-740-3226. Do it now. Just do it now. Canary to 877-740-3226. You'll get on the list. We don't take your name. We don't take any of your data. We take nothing. It's completely unmonetizable, like this show, like my whole career. So, we're not selling your data or selling the list to anybody. All you'll get is a text message before every show during the week, which is usually 2, could be 3 coming up. Let's check in with some of the text message people. I have not read these yet, so I'm going to do it now. Somebody texted, "Thank you for being so real, Basil. I've needed your humor. I'd love a piece of emu shell." That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to do a special Basil's Bunker value for value where only the real ones will get a piece of emu shell. Kindness and transparency as I try to recover from the worst respiratory illness of my long life. God bless and minister to you in every way and give you your heart's desires. Thank you very much, text person. I appreciate that very much. That's the kind of stuff that keeps me going. Makes it all just a little bit better. People reaching out, being nice, praying for me. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have y'all praying for me. My goodness. Let's see. Who else? Somebody sent a text message, says, "Hey, I finally saw the text message in time to respond. Love you guys. You did it." Somebody says, "Let's go, Basil, my best buddy." Thank you, thank you. Somebody says, "Glad to be here watching live." Okay. Somebody says, "Driving. Can't text. Sent from my Rogue." Somebody out there is driving a Nissan Rogue. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it's like to send out a text message to hundreds of people that you don't even know if you know or not? And that text message pops up on the screen of somebody's Nissan Rogue. Where are you going? Who are you? I want to know everything. Drive safe. Don't text a podcaster while you're driving. Thank you for those text messages, people. Again, text the word canary to 877-740-3226. I will say, live viewership a little bit not as extravagant as Monday. I mean, it's a Friday show. We haven't done a Friday show in a long time. Gons posts stuff. Maybe that's what they think is going on. This is a very casual audience today, but I'm glad you're here. All right, let's talk about, what are we going to talk about? Where's my notes? There they are. Oh, let's talk about normies real quick while we're at it. Just real quick, because if y'all are anything like me, you probably have normal, regular people in your life, and there's a good chance that they think maybe they're charmed by it. Maybe they're a little weirded out. Maybe they tease you about it, something like that. But they know that you're the one who's getting ready for all sorts of possibilities. And if you're not getting ready, you at least know that there's something to be ready for. And whether or not you've talked to them about getting ready, prepping, getting a bunker going, or whatever, whether you like it or not, if something does happen, you are the first person that they're going to come to. And I realized this a couple weeks ago. After, I think it was like the solar flare stuff. I had some people in my life like, and so I just took the opportunity. Everybody knows that I'm the weirdo, of course. But I did take the opportunity to, like, in a loving way, send out some texts. I made some calls, and I called this one buddy. He's been my BFF, long time. I've known him forever. And he's not necessarily, I love this guy because he's very honest with himself, and he's very honest with me. And I appreciate him for that. He literally has said the words to me, "Oh, I don't really talk to a lot of people I disagree with. Or other times he said, oh, I didn't know that people had other thoughts than me. I'm like, God bless you, man. I'll say something, funky about what's going on in the news, or, some lie that's being broadcast. And he will just straight up be like, yeah, I don't really watch the news. I don't really care. It kind of scares me. I don't really like thinking about it. I just kind of, I'll just do whatever, whatever everybody thinks is going on. I'm good with that. And I'm not being facetious. I'm not exaggerating. He's literally got this strange self-awareness that is like, yes, I am a normie. I choose to be a normie. I don't want to know the things that are going on. I'm just gonna go through this life doing the thing that I am supposed to do. And this is the guy I felt so compelled to call. I called him on the phone. Can you believe it? Spoke to him. And I was like, hey, man, so, I'm only going to say this once. I said it to him. I said, I'm only going to say this once. I'm not going to bug you about it. I'm just going to tell you because I need to tell you. And once I've told you, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. He goes, okay. And I go, I know you might not be paying attention, but things are really getting crazy, like really crazy, like across the board crazy. Like name any area of the world, any area of life, any topic, anything. It's all absolutely crazy. The politics, the geopolitics, the sun is trying to fry us. The nukes are getting warmed up. Just everything. And I tell him, I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I said, buddy, I don't know what it's going to be. It could be a lot of things. There's a lot of different people talking about a lot of different things. Could just be a cyber pandemic, could be another pandemic, could be anything. So I'm just telling you, so I told you, and I'll never tell you again, it's probably a good idea to just do some basic prepping. And surprisingly, he was like, okay, what should I do? What should I get? I was kind of expecting him to be like, okay, thank you. All right. Like, oh, he's okay. Well, I mean, honestly, just food and water. If you can just get food and water for a couple weeks, that's good. That's easy. And what I realized is the world is getting to a place, and the mainstream knowledge of how absolutely bonkers everything is and can be has become so popularly felt and popularly known that a lot of these people, are totally on board to start prepping. They just need the person. They need the tinfoil hat person because they can't really make the choice on their own unless somebody is kind of telling them to do it. You got to realize a lot of people in the world don't do anything unless they're told to. And I'm not even trying to make fun of anybody. I'm just saying that's kind of the way our society is built, is if somebody doesn't tell you to do something, most people are just not going to do it because they're busy doing the other stuff that people has told them to do. Their boss is telling them stuff to do. Society is telling them to get that paper. The news is telling them to vote for Biden. Everybody's telling these people what to do. So they're not going to do something that they're not told to do. But the world is in such a place, all you got to do is tell them to do it. And he's doing it. And he was so receptive to this message. Again, the message was, it was almost like an evangelistic type of thing, where, there's one way to look at evangelism, of course, is that you care about people so much, you love them so much, that you have to tell them what Jesus has done for them. And if they don't like it, if they don't take advantage of it, at least you told them. At least you did your job. You told them, and then the rest is God's responsibility. It's kind of the same with this prepping stuff. There's a lot of people in your life that simply need you to go, hey, you should probably start getting a couple extra cans of food when you're at the grocery store. Just a couple. Don't got to go crazy. Hey, you should probably get a ham radio or a long-range walkie-talkie. $13. $13 on Amazon. That's what I told my buddy to do. Tuned his walkie-talkie to me because he lives pretty far away. I said, hey, if something happens, just hit me on the radio, buddy. Because here's the thing. If these people already know that you're the person who's going to be ready for something, they're going to come find you anyways. They are going to come use you. They're going to seek refuge. They're going to come to the bunker. People are going to come knocking on the door, bunkaroos. So I'm considering it a type of prepping to start urging the people who will inevitably be coming to me when things get a little wonky. I know they're coming to me, so they might as well bring some cans of food with them. They might as well have a go bag so I don't have to give them everything. Now, is everyone welcome out at Basil's bunker? Unfortunately, that's not in the realm of possibility. But this guy, this is one of the guys, I could never turn him away. I've known him for that long. We're very close. And I would have to, my conscience could not turn him away no matter what. So it's a form of my prepping to just at least get this guy. Stefan in the chat says bunker warming gifts. Correct. Start telling your friends that they're welcome at the bunker, but they do need to bring their own bottle of wine or something. We should start. Here's the thing. Bunker culture has been underground for way too long. It's about time that we start developing actual bunker culture. Because here's the thing. When things go crazy, bunker culture is going to come out of nowhere. It's out of necessity. There will be a culture that arises. And so if we can start building that culture now, first thing on that culture, it is considered polite to show up to the bunker with your own supplies. Show up with a box of food. Don't go knocking on bunker doors without a couple cans of food, a box of ammo, something to prove that you are here to invest in the survival of the bunker. And if you don't, it's considered very rude. I'm just telling it right now. Start telling everybody. Bunker people, we need to start enforcing this type of thing on bunker culture. If you're showing up at my door because you aren't ready yourself, you better show up with some supplies. It's just polite. In the chat, or here's the thing, email me, canarycryradio@gmail.com, canarycryradio@gmail.com, or put it in the chat here. What's a piece of bunker culture that we should start enforcing? I'll make a list. Okay, we're going to make a list. This is one of our long-term projects with this show. We'll find a more marketable name for bunker culture. Y'all can probably hear my nose starting to stuff up again. This happens on the show. Okay, bunker culture. We got to build the culture. Build the bunker. Build the culture. Okay, here we go. All right, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking, folks. Everybody write this down. Somebody, I think it was Travis, emailed me and said, I was making notes last show. He says he's making notes too. He's got his Canary Cry notebook. For those who get the supply drop, you got your composition notebook. Everybody should start taking notes for the show, please. You can go ahead and email. Build the bunker. Building the bunker. Building the culture. We'll find it. We'll find it. Bunker culture. Okay. Sorry, I'm in VR and I just have these stupid little fingers that I can use to type, and so typing is sort of like I imagine typing things out in VR like this is sort of akin to trying to write one sentence in like the Middle Ages where you need a quill. You need ink, but the ink comes from some ground animal in China, and you get it. Build bunks better. Thank you, Dustin. Every bunker should have bunk beds. That's a good point. Bunk beds. Murphy beds too hoity-toity, says Krillin. If I bring a large box of Burt's Bees, can I enter Basil's bunker? Caleb, you will be given a place of honor in the bunker. That is something that I have not leaned into recently, but for those who know me, Burt's Bees, very important survival gear. Okay, just because I have this here, let me show you, one of the I don't know. I don't know what's interesting anymore. What do I know about what's interesting? But one thing that was sort of a part of the conception of the show was exploring prepper stuff, prepper supplies. And of course, we all know now, prepper supplies can come in many different forms. I hope in the future to kind of like bring some next level, some things you wouldn't think of, you wouldn't think of, some things that are out of the box. We'll find it. We'll find it together. We'll start navigating the world of prepper supplies in a way that will be very helpful, and we won't get anywhere else. But I do want to talk about one thing, and that is trauma kits. I wanted to show you guys, not an advertisement. I'm not sponsored by these people, although I would like it if they sent me free stuff. That'd be very cool. RhinoRescueStore.com. Rhino Rescue. Let me see if I can get on the screen. Here we go. Rhino Rescue. These guys are cool. I've got a couple of their kits, and specifically trauma kits. I got my first trauma kit when I was like 18 because it came in a car that I purchased, a junky... It wasn't junky. It was beautiful. It was an older car because I was a younger man. And there's a trauma kit in the trunk when I got it. I'm like, that's awesome. Okay. And I got really into trauma kits. And for those who don't know, trauma kits are like first aid kits, but like better and cooler, and has not just Band-Aids and burn cream, but tourniquets and vented chest bandages, stuff like that. From Rhino Rescue right here, let's do a quick view. This is their Rhino Rescue Individual Bleeding Control Kit. IFAK Trauma Kit Military First Aid Refill Kit. Okay, so this is the refill. And this is the kind of stuff, my buddy that I talked to on the phone, I said, hey, get ready. Get yourself a couple first aid kits. I give first aid kits as presents for people's birthday. And it's, a step above your regular grocery store first aid kit. Not quite a Rhino, but I'm going to start giving these Rhinos because it's $60 and you get tools that you're not going to get anywhere else. And you don't have to get this brand. Let me be clear. Sorry, I've never sold advertisement in my life, so I've never actually had to avoid like accidentally advertising people because it, would ruin my chances of whatever. You get the point. That's not what we do. We're value for value. But looking at trauma kits. Let's see if I can get the list of stuff here. Where's the list? Show me the list. Okay, Rhino, you need to put your list of stuff a little bit easier to see. Where is it? Soluble hemostatic gauze. You ever had some soluble hemostatic gauze? Triple blood clotting, trauma hemostasis, quick and safe. That's very important. Fast-acting design stops bleeding quickly. If you're talking full-on wasteland situation, things can make you bleed. Things can make you bleed real good. Somebody shows up at the bunker. They didn't bring their customary offering. People can bleed. And that's why a kit like this has some very serious stop bleeding stuff. It's got the tourniquet here. And for those who have never used an actual tourniquet, it's much more complicated than just taking your belt and strapping it down on somebody's arm. It's a little bit different. Which brings me to the next topic with this is training. Training's very important. No matter where you are, there's somebody around you. You can take a class, look it up on Facebook, look it up on wherever. Take a class. Please take a class. I told y'all I was taking a online welding class. Easy peasy. $50. Take an hour or 5 or 6 or however long the class is and learn how to do something. Folks, skills is very important. Please build the skills. Nothing means anything without the skills. Okay? There's trauma first aid classes you can take down at the Y or wherever. And it's one of the most annoying things to be told to do that because, of course, we all agree that it's important to do. But who's got the time? Who in their right mind has the time to take a trauma first aid class down at the rec center for an afternoon or two? Nobody does. There's thousands of things that we should be doing with our time. But it's the same with buying the prepper gear. If you're going to be buying the trauma kit, you got to learn how to use it. There's thousands of other things that you should be spending your money on. Can I get an amen, preppers? There's thousands of other things, more important things, that you could be spending your money on, at least at this exact moment. Now, if we're willing to put our money towards our survival future, we need to be ready to put our time towards it too. And I'll tell you, the more little things you start learning, maybe we should do this. Maybe eventually, somebody want to write this down? Somebody eventually, if we start getting a little community together here and people in the same area, same town, same state, stuff like that, we could start coordinating. Because a lot of these classes, you got to get some people together to take the class. And you're either taking it with strangers, but a lot of these trainers, a lot of these, teachers, trainers? I don't know what to call them. A lot of these people with the skills and their vocation is sharing the skills and training people. They'll just do a class if you can get like 8 people together. 8 to 10 people. I met this gal at the sporting goods store recently. And she's an old gal. And she was talking to me about sharpshooting. And she's a sharpshooter instructor, long range for hunting and sport, etc. This gal must have been doing it for maybe longer than I've been alive, but it's part of what she does. She said, hey, first of all, she was like, you live where you live? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I'll just come out there and get some friends together. You got a lot of space out there. I'm like, yeah, I do. These people exist, folks. Easier than ever to find. Just go to your sporting goods store. They're everywhere. They're just wandering. They do work there, but they are also just wandering because their mind is not on stocking sporting goods. Their mind is on the craft. Whatever the craft may be, sharpshooting, trauma kit, CPR. These people are out there. They are wealths of information. Their mission in life is to share these skills that will save your life and save other people's lives. They are on a mission from God to spread the information. One of the oldest jobs in humanity is teaching somebody else a skill, teaching them how to sharpen a stick, teaching them to throw the rock. They're still out there. They're wandering. God has them out there for us. All you got to do, go to the sporting goods store, find them, ask them. So what I was saying was if we get people in the same area listening to the show or whatever, for instance, northern Idaho, I know there's a ton of Canarians out there, be like a meetup. Get a bunch of Canarians together, take the first aid class. Get a bunch of Canarians together, take the sharpshooting class. Do the thing. That is what we should really be doing. That might be one of the most important things we should be doing. All right. Somebody make a note of that. Email me. Bug me, please. Okay, so there you go. Get a trauma kit. I love it. I'll talk about more stuff later. All right, let me check the timing. Hour 16. Okay, we're doing okay. This is about on track. We're going to take calls in a little bit. We're going to try it again. We're going to try to do it. I think it went great last time. Thank you, Faye, for the help with the calls. We're going to take calls again. I'm going to try my best to take 2 calls, multiple calls. Thank you, everybody, for your insight into how you think last show went. I am directly referring to producers and the notes they send me to help plan out the show. So if you think this show is a little bit more organized than last show, then that is directly because of producers telling me what worked, telling me what didn't work. And it's a process. We'll figure it out together. But if you are out there, you want to take a call, we're going to be keeping these calls short. Okay, this is not TJT. We're not doing a 3-hour life story. We're going to try to take a couple calls on topic. We're going to find a topic, and we are going to try to keep a couple calls. Topics may include your most dangerous opinion about something, and maybe like your favorite, your most drastic prepping thing that you've done, your most drastic step for your bunker. Okay? Let's just do that one. And you can ask a question. I'll take the call. You tell me the most impressive prepper step that you've taken, and then you can ask me a question or something. And we'll keep the calls to 10 minutes or so, or shorter, whatever works. And so we'll see how that goes. MSDS. Oh, yeah, MSDS says basic vitamins, HQC, ivermectin, antibiotics, calamine lotion, alcohol swabs, cotton balls, iodine. Yeah, that's good. It's a good bag. Good bag there, MSDS. Yeah, don't even get me started on the companies that exist now where you can get a prepper box filled with prescription medications totally legally. Maybe I can do more on that later. All right, let's talk about the Bible for a second, folks. Thank you to Runk Smash. You know him, you love him. Longtime producer of CCNT. Runk Smash sent me a note here, and I want to read a piece of it. It says, now for feedback on Basil's bunker. What a wild ride. At a couple points, I was reminded of the verse, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe." Proverbs 18:10 from the KJV. And several similar concepts in Psalms. Because of this, I'd like to point out that the concept of the bunker is a modern interpretation of the tower. Perhaps this show might become an encouragement in trusting God rather than earthly things. Amen. As you've been learning in this rough season and did a good job contrasting with JB and his 3 bunkers. Oh, Jeff Bezos. Thank you very much, Runk Smash. And this sent me on a mission. Because you're right. It was interesting. Let me see if I can pull up my materials. Where's my materials? There it is. And I don't know if I'm going to make these available in show notes. Here's the thing, folks. Things like show notes, things like providing links to stuff, all that is very cool, and I would like to do it. It's an extraordinary amount of work. That's why it takes Gons and I both working together 2 or 3 hours before every show. So I don't have these links necessarily available right now, but maybe as producers get involved or something, or we figure out a system, maybe we can start building out the supportive materials for the show. Okay. Sorry, finding my links. Well, long story short, folks, Runk Smash is right. I went searching for bunkers in the Bible. I said, okay, maybe the word, not bunker. Maybe there's others, I don't know. Let's see what bunkers in the Bible. Folks, bunkers are in the Bible, but they are not what you'd hope. This was a big theme from last episode is, man, all these billionaires are getting bunkers. They're putting their faith into material things. They're putting their faith into their wealth. They're putting their faith to save their life in their preparation, their earthly preparation, their own strategies, their own power. They're taking their own knowledge as human beings and trying to avoid the inevitable, which is death. And as we know, God is way more effective than any bunker we could possibly stock up. This is the wonderful, beautiful juxtaposition that is this show. It is a complicated show, folks. It's deep. Start thinking, start praying about it, because this is not your normal prepper obsessed bunker show. Bunker Pals. That's a different show. Although everybody here, you are my bunkaroos. So we can start in the, let's see, I had his pulled up here. Let's see if I have it. Do I have it? Okay, well, I'll say this. I went searching for bunkers in the Bible. And with Runk Smash's clue about where to start with towers, like, okay, this makes sense. Let's start taking a look. And I got this list. Unfortunately, I tried to make my own list, but for sake of time, did a couple just regular word search thingies here. Not word search, but we'll check. Oh, it's so small on the screen. Apologize. God has a strong tower. Okay, we're starting with the tower. Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it and is safe. Runs into it and is safe. It sounds like a bunker. That is the bunker. The strong tower. I love it. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God, my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. That's another word that pops up a lot. Stronghold. That is what we're talking about when we're talking about bunker. Psalm 61:3. For you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the enemy. Huh? Come on now. And this is all over the place. 2 Samuel. Again, let's see. 2 Samuel 22:3. My God, my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield, and the horn of my salvation. The horn of my salvation is something I want to look into more. my stronghold and my refuge. My Savior, you save me from violence. Jeff Bezos, he's out there. He's got 3 bunkers to save him from violence. And now we get to sort of reconcile our interest and our love of bunkers and all things prepper. I think it might be the most important thing we can do with this show, which is to reconcile, question our own earthly obsession with surviving bad stuff. I feel convicted, folks. I don't know about you. I feel convicted that I need to spend the requisite amount of time deeply searching my own heart, deeply searching my own faith, and reconcile that with my love of prepping. Because it is God who is our strong tower, where the righteous man runs into it and is safe. Psalm 144:2, he is my steadfast love and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield, and he in whom I take refuge. It's all over the place. Who subdues peoples under me. Psalm 91:2, I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. You feeling that, folks? Are you feeling that yet? Because I sure am. So I went looking for strongholds, of course, checking it out. 2 Corinthians 10:3-4. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but divinely powerful for the destruction of fortresses. Why is that in the strongholds list? Interesting. Okay, I'm going to walk you through this. This one got me. Let's go to Judges 6. So we know fortresses, towers, strongholds. God is our stronghold. He is our tall tower. And I thought this tower thing is interesting because bunker, of course, is underground. That's kind of the quintessential bunker. Underground. And what is an underground structure if not a reverse tower? Come on. A tower going down. What kind of adversarial counterfeit theology is this? The flesh, the worldly way of surviving bad times is not to go up into a tower. In fact, there are very poignant social contexts and very specific allegories regarding towers and being unsafe in our American sort of dynastic metaphor world that we have here. If something's going wrong, running into a tower, as Americans, this is antithetical to what we think of as safety. But God is our tall tower. So we do need to be questioning. We do need to be taking a very deep, hard look at our reliance on an upside-down underground tower called a bunker when things go wrong. But bunkers, they do appear. Bunkers do appear in the Bible. And you're not going to like it. Judges 6. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years. All right, listen up, folks. The cycle continues with ancient Israel here, where ancient Israel, they walk with God. They are led by God alone. Then they want a human king. They want a human leader. Then they start doing evil, and God punishes them with the king that they ask for. Then they are out in the either metaphorical or literal desert, wandering around. And then they return to God. This cycle of sort of punishment that ancient Israel in the Bible experienced. Pretty much the whole Old Testament is a cycle. It's a loop-de-loop of the people of God serving, being led by God directly. God is their leader. God is their everything. Then they look around at other nations and say, we need a king. We need a person. We need a man. Or we need an idol. We need a golden calf. We need something. God, give us the thing. And so God gives it to him. And then booyah, surprise, surprise. When God is no longer your leader, you start doing evil stuff. And then you're punished for it. Or judgment. Natural judgment. When you do evil one way or another, judgment will come. And then it's a huge bummer until you turn to God again and make God the head of your nation. And so here's one of those examples. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years. And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. And because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains and caves and strongholds. They went into bunkers. They got invaded because they were doing evil. Their enemies, the Lord gave them over to their enemies, the Midianites, came in, cleaning up the place, and the children of Israel had gone to bunkers in the mountains, in the caves, in the strongholds. And so it was when Israel had sown that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites and the children of the east, even they came up against them. So in these bunkers, they are now surrounded by multiple enemies, and they encamped against them and destroyed the increase of the earth. That's something to consider, folks. When you're down in a bunker, your enemies sort of have a natural option, which is just to sit there and wait. Because what are you going to do? You got nothing else to do. You're just in the bunker. All they got to do is wait for you to come out. Hope your supplies are enough. Also, Revelation 6. Remember, it's Revelation 6, folks? Pretty important one. Oops. I pressed the button. Let me press the other button. Here we go. Revelation 6. This starts down at about 15, but I'll go a little bit higher. We'll start at about 12. And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. This is the apocalypse, people. You ever heard of it? The heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. You know, a lot of bunker people are also preparing for the apocalypse. That's kind of the whole idea, is that we know what's going on here. We know what's coming. We know it's going to be difficult, so it seems prudent to prepare for it. In fact, we think ourselves pretty clever. And so, since we think we're so clever, we'll go straight to the Bible, the apocalypse, what the Bible says is going to happen. Womogian. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, Jeff Bezos, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Sounds like bunkers to me, folks. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that bunkers are bad. All it is, I mean, in fact, this might be the scripture that inspires all preppers, Bible-believing preppers. Go, oh, okay, yeah, the apocalypse, Revelation 6:14, the actual place where the word appears in the original languages. Next verse. Everybody's in bunkers. Everybody. Kings are in the bunkers. Great men in the bunkers. Jeff Bezos in the bunkers. Chief captains. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the mighty men. Every bondman. I wonder what a bondman is. Considering it says every free man, makes me think it's every slave. Every slave and free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? It's just right there, folks. The Bible doesn't have a whole lot of great things to say about the bunkers, and that's the fun we're having here. Welcome to Basil's bunker. Basil's tower doesn't have much, kind of the same ring to it, unfortunately. But in this time of my life, which I have shared over and over and over, how it's literally the worst 6 months in my entire life, things are going wrong I could not even possibly begin to explain to you. People who I have done nothing but spent time helping. Sorry about that. I removed myself from the stage. People who I've spent so much of my life caring for, helping, serving alongside, living life with, all these things. Every enemy that I have, every adversary, which they're coming from all different directions, folks. I know you guys know how this is. It's not that they are the bad guys coming against me. The thing so horrible is that they are the people that I've walked in the house of the Lord with, like David said. And so, speaking of David, I'm just going to take a second and read Psalm 61. Hear my cry, O God, listen to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the enemy. Let me dwell in your tent forever. Let me take refuge under the shelter of your wings. Selah. For you, O God, have heard my vows. You have given me the heritage of those who fear your name. Prolong the life of the king. May his ears endure to all generations. May he be enthroned forever before God. Appoint steadfast love and faithfulness to watch over him. So will I ever sing praises to your name as I perform my vows day after day. It's the tall tower, folks. It's not the bunker. Something to think about. We're having fun here. We're having fun. Okay. Very good, Gabby. Thank you. Tower of Basil. That's something. That's something. We can do something with that. Instead of Tower of Babel, it's Tower of Basil. Somebody write that down. Okay, let's see. What are people saying? Michelle says, you speak truth, Basil. Thank you very much. God be the glory. Gabrielle, Bunker Gospel Hour. Love it. Prep, but not to over prep. Over prep, that's a very interesting concept. Maybe we'll talk about over prepping later. I think there are ways to over prep, or at least miss prep. Prep in ways that are not the most effective. I certainly have been guilty of misprepping. Writing that one down. Take notes, everybody. I'm not joking. Everybody should be taking notes with me because it's just me and you here. Producers, this is value for value. Producers produce. That's what you're here for. Liar Bliss says, there is a time I have to turn people I know away because I don't have enough oil for both of us when the groom return. Wow. It's nice having people here who know the Bible. That's a good point. Thank you, Larry Bliss. All right, folks, let's give this a try. Let's try to do some call-ins. As we discovered last time, I allegedly... See, I don't know. If I just put the link out there, I don't know if there's too many people that will come in. Here's what I'll do. We're going to do the honor system, and just know that if the honor system does not work, you could destroy the entire show. You could take it down. Here's the rules. Be YouTube friendly. No illegal thoughts. No illegal words. And you know what I'm talking about. If you put this channel at risk, I will hang up on you so fast. Emily says you can put people in waiting rooms. Yes. So what I can do is I can create an invite link. And I can give y'all the invite link. Now, everyone who clicks that invite link, you'll have to go through a process or two to set up your device, but you will get put into a waiting room, and then I can let you in from there. I don't know exactly how this is going to go. So this could be a lot of things, but let's not destroy the show because of people being bad. Don't be bad. Family friendly. Keep it cool. YouTube friendly. Here's the thing. The call-in people, you're going to tell me your prepper thing that you are most proud of. Maybe you have a trauma kit. Maybe you have an actual bunker. Maybe you dug the hole. The inverted tower. Whatever it is. Tell me, and it doesn't have to be impressive, So we're all at different places. But tell me the thing you're most proud of for prepping. And then if you have a question or something to ask, do that too. All right. Taking a risk here, folks. I'm putting the link out there. Here it goes. Now, this won't happen immediately because people need to click on the link. Oh, I guess I'll put it over here for Rumble too. I don't know if here you go. There's that. I'll give it to Twitch too if you guys want it. I don't know if anybody's over at Twitch right now, but we'll find out. All right, we're going to give it a try. So you'll click on that link. It should take you to a website. You'll follow some instructions, give permission to use your camera and your microphone on your device. This should work on all the devices, I hope. Couple rules. Make sure that you're in a conducive environment. Don't be in a steel mill calling in. Don't be at the mall. Don't be in a movie theater and call in because it's just not going to sound good. It's not going to sound good. Nobody's going to enjoy it. It's going to be a mess. So unfortunately, I might have to just be savage and cut people off or cut people short if it's not good. If the bunker behavior, Gabby says. Yes. So this is part of bunker behavior. We're building the culture here. Make sure you have a quiet background. Mind your manners. Tell me one thing you're proud of doing for prepping for you. Could be unique. Could be impressive. Could just simply be as far as you've made it. And that's okay. We can take it from there. And then if you have a question or something, you can do that too. Or if you want to, maybe I missed a Bible bunker verse or something. If you want to school us on something. Okay, MSDS says it's a dead link. What does that even mean? Oops. Okay, I'm clicking on my own link. Link's working for me. I'm about to be a guest in my own show. Yep, it's working. Sorry, MSDS, it's working for me. Live link. Okay, good. All right. It takes a second for people to get through. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep doing the show. And if people make it into the waiting room, then I can click a button and they'll be here. And it'll be great. It'll be great. It'll be great. So for those who have been around since some of the inception of the idea of Basil's Bunker, you know that the idea, it was originally going to be a business, some sort of money-making venture, if you could even imagine such a thing. Stefan says Chrome is not a usable browser if they're having problems. Last I checked. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm not on Chrome right now. I used to use it on Chrome, and then I had to stop because I think it stopped working. What was I talking about? Okay, yes, Basil's Bunker. You know, because in these days, we have an evolving sense of what being prepared is, what that even means. It used to be, 60s, 70s, 80s, that millennium, is pretty simple. Food, ham radio, tinfoil for the head. But in these days of AI, facial recognition, digital surveillance of everyone, deep fakes, this kind of stuff, I hadn't seen some sort of service, maybe a store, maybe it's retail, maybe it's a subscription box type of thing. I like the subscription box idea just because I like subscription boxes. And I think they're a fun business model, and I think the surprise of what comes in the box is always fun. It's a whole thing. Okay, MSDS was trying to get in. Says, well, I tried. Break over, sad. I'm sorry your break's over. I do not have anybody in the waiting room yet. I think people are trying, but nobody's made it yet. So we'll see how that goes. But in this era, we need to evolve our prepping as well. The things I love are the facial recognition sabotaging jewelry, or the facial recognition sabotaging sweaters, things like that can just really confuse a robot, just really send an AI tumbling. And I think, the other one of those examples was the 6th finger ring, a ring with a sort of a rubber finger that kind of juts off from your hand, because with AI art messing up hands all the time, if you have a 6th finger jutting off your hand in some sort of street view security camera or something, you just be, oh, that's AI, that's not me, I don't have 6 fingers. But then suddenly we'll have Nephilim roaming everywhere. Okay, well, maybe I was too heavy. Maybe I was too heavy on the rules for the call-ins. Emily makes a good point. Good luck being able to disguise your walking gait. Have you ever watched yourself walk before? Just set up your camera kind of far away, go about 50 feet out, and just walk from one direction to the other, or walk towards the camera or walk away. Watch your gait. It is the weirdest thing. A lot of people say hearing their own noise, like hearing their own voice, like on a podcast or something, or if you record yourself with a voice memo or this or that. A lot of people hate their own voices. I used to a lot. Got used to it. But watching yourself walk in public is such a bizarre experience. Question from Albaron says, I don't know if I missed it all the time. I walk all the time. Whoa, sorry, that blended two messages. I don't know if I missed it, but when does the focus group for AOD4 start? Just don't want to miss it. Yes, you won't miss it. Gons and I were just bickering about that today. We are, here's the problem. Making promises and giving dates has always backfired for us every single time we've ever done it, either by our own ineptitude or by the madness that life can become once you commit to a deadline on something. But very, very soon. Very, very soon. I'm not saying it'll be ready on Monday. I'm not saying that I'm working on it all weekend. I'm not saying that. But if you received an email on Monday and you were a part of the AOD4 focus group, wouldn't that be delightful? Wouldn't that be delightful? If you woke up on Monday with an email to join the Age of Deceit 4 focus group. Gons is itching. Gons is itching to get this going, folks. All right. I think I was a little too heavy-handed about the call thing. Come on, somebody. I don't have anybody in the waiting room. How embarrassing is that? Talking about doing a call-in show. Nobody calling in. Look at this. I'm looking total. We got 290 people. Come on. 290 people. One of you's got to come in and call the show. You know, it doesn't have to be a call-in show. We weren't quite decided on that anyways. Okay, I'll open it up for people who have light noise in the background. Light noise. Yeah, thank you, Stefan. Sometimes the fish ain't biting. I know. That's how it is. Well, if that's the case, let me see. What is this with timing? 1:51. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. So I think that'll be pretty good. We'll be going for a few minutes here. So if somebody wants to call in, chat with me, we can do that. If not, no problemo. Let me get over to our email box. Remember, folks, it's value for value, which means the producers are almost more responsible for how this show goes or what it turns into. The show is evolving. The show is evolving, folks. We're all in this together. Hey, look at this. Got an email from Sir Ike here. It says, I'm listening to your show tonight and wanted to offer some prepper contacts. Yes, Sir Ike knows some preppers. I'll tell you what, Missouri is where the preppers are. Y'all want to know an interesting fact about Missouri? Missouri is the only state in the Union that has 2 Federal Reserve banks. People are sleeping on Missouri, folks. Stuff is going on in Missouri, as we've learned from Patrick Holland and the Missouri Freedom Initiative. Things are going on in Missouri. It's like they have there's like a secret thing going on in Missouri that really affects the rest of the country. And I think it's, I don't know, maybe ironic that the one state that has 2 Federal Reserve banks also has like more preppers per capita and more libertarians per capita than any other state. It's very interesting. Let's see here. I belong to what is probably the biggest prepping homesteading group in the country. That's what I'm talking about. Inside of it are tons of people that you could talk the bunker lifestyle with. Folks, this might be the key. Sir Ike may have just given us the key to taking this show all the way. I got to get plugged in with this prepping homesteading group in Missouri. I was looking at some property in Missouri. Very affordable. Anybody wanting to go off there? Go off in Missouri. All right. Okay. I think that's it, folks. Thank you very much, Bunkaroos. Sir Ike here in the chat says, I also live next to a town named Bunker. All right. We're doing it. We're doing it. Thanks so much for tuning in, hanging out with me today. That's okay. I'll try not to take it personally that there was no call-ins. No problemo. I know it can be a scary thing. Just because it happened once doesn't mean it has to happen again. Let's keep figuring this out, folks. Send me an email at canarycryradio@gmail.com. canarycryradio@gmail.com. Make your subject line Basil's Bunker. Tell me what you thought. What do you like about the show? What don't you like about the show? You got anything interesting you want to hear about on the show? Any segment ideas? Any guests? We can do guests. Nothing wrong with guests. We could do some guests. Let's make this show together, folks. We're going to rebuild society together. We're going to build this show together. We're going to make it. We're going to survive. But remember, the Lord is our stronghold. The Lord is our strong tower, our tall tower. I'll tell you what, though. When everybody was going into the bunkers in those two stories, I talked about bunkers from the Bible, Revelation 6, Judges 6, and Revelation 6 as well. Ooh, 6. They didn't go into the bunker for nothing. They definitely went in the bunker because stuff got bad, which I guess we can say is theologically consistent. Pretty theologically consistent with what we're trying to figure out here. If any thoughts hit your mind listening to the show, especially God thoughts, if you got anything like that, send that to me, canarycryradio@gmail.com. And remember to get on the text message alert system. You can send me text messages whenever you want. I can't carry on a conversation because it's very, very expensive. But text the word canary to 877-740-3226. 877-740-3226. Okay. Somebody... Sir Ike says, Basil, take it as a sign from heaven. There is a bunker, Missouri. You need to move here. It sounds like everybody needs to go to Missouri. I don't know if Missouri would like that very much. Get a flood. I mean, if there's room for bunkers, as long as everybody's got their own bunker. Okay. You know what I didn't do today? I didn't put any of this art up. Thank you to Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Panda, who made the Basil's Bunker ads for the beginning of the show. That's hilarious. Very well done. Thank you very much. If you missed it at the front of the show, tune in earlier, folks. Thank you to Jonathan F. for this jingle.
Welcome to Basil's Bunker, where we have many amenities in the advent of coming societal collapse. Bohemian Grove generators powered by Chinese lithium cobalt batteries. Anti-air defense systems rivaling the IDF Iron Dome. Endless end times food ration buckets. And recreational activities like emu wrangling or Monty pet training.
Yep, see? It's good stuff. Thank you very much. Yeah, artists, musicians, talented people. Remember, it's value for value. Your time, your talent, or your treasure. If you are a graphic artist or a video editor or anything, a musician, a whatever, or even if you are a talented child, grab your crayons, grab your colored pencils, make some Basil's Bunker art. I'd love to show it on the show. Musician, write that bunker song, write that bunker jingle, whatever it is. For now, you can upload that art at canarycry.art. We'll see how this goes, if we need to make our own links and stuff. But for now, go to canarycry.art. You can upload any art you want to share there. Love to give people credit for that. And that's what builds the culture here on the show. We're building bunker culture, folks. We need you. We need to do it together. What else? Time. Yes, you can produce the show with your time. Because, we don't take any money from corporations, commies, or cartels. We rebel against the global theology of advertising, which has entire economies spinning on the axis of people like me gaining the trust and attention of people like you and selling it to advertisers. Who knows? Maybe Basil's Bunker needs to do ads. I don't know. It's up to the producers. It's up to you guys. I don't know what I'm doing. You guys get to make these decisions. But whatever the case, right now we are value for value. So you can put value back into the show with your time. You can volunteer for stuff. We're starting from the ground up here, folks. So this is a good opportunity for people to get involved. If you want to be part of something bigger, if this show, or at least the idea of the show, aligns with your values and any skills you might have to help out with what it takes to run a podcast, at least semi-successfully, get in touch. canarycryradio@gmail.com. Or, of course, you can help out financially. You know how to do it. You go to canarycry.support. Just put a little note on it. Put a little note that says, this is because I like Basil's Bunker. Don't worry. The money isn't, the money's going into the pot. Money is going to be keeping the whole thing going here. So don't worry. I'm not going to keep some of your producership from Gons or whatever. But yes, you can support the show at canarycry.support and put a little note. Email a little note. Put it on your producership. Just say, this is for Basil's Bunker. I love that show. Everybody should check it out. Yay! All right. There you go. Just checking one last thing. Checking. Yep. Okay. I think that's it. Man, I got to figure out like a fun thing to do to end the show. Like a fun segment, a fun song, poetry maybe. Tell a story on the homestead. I'm trying to think if I have any good stories from the homestead right now. I really don't. We had some chickens. We got some chickens. There are currently 4 baby chickens in my bathtub. They love it there. They're not bathing, but they are living there until they are big enough to go out with the other chickens. Eggs, folks. Whatever new society looks like, it will be built on the protein and the strength of eggs. Final thoughts. Eggs. All right, I got nothing, folks. I have no final thoughts except for eggs. Like, that's the easiest thing to do. You talk to any homestead, you can get chickens. Doesn't matter where you are. You can put chickens in your apartment. It's a pet. Nobody's going to kick you out of bed for having pet chickens in your apartment. Come on. Go out and eat some eggs. I will tell you this. Homesteaders out there can back me up on this. There is such thing as too many eggs. There can be too many eggs. So if anybody out there wants to see if I can successfully ship eggs to your location, because I got them. There's too many eggs, folks. All right, bunkaroos. Keep on bunking, bunkaroos. Appreciate you being here. Make sure to tune in next time. I believe if there's any chance of any more of these happening, it'll probably be on Fridays. But we'll see what happens. Please send me your emails, canarycryradio@gmail.com. If you know what to do with all these eggs, Emily says dehydrate them. Yeah, I should probably dehydrate them. Anybody who has chickens and eggs, no, those eggs are going to dehydrate themselves, whether or not you do it on purpose. Canning and jarring, that's something I do need to get into. It's just one of those things. I have so many other things to do with my time. canning, they're jarring, glassing, I guess it's called, glassing the eggs. All right, maybe we'll start learning skills on the podcast. I'm bugging everybody about learning skills. I'll play an egg glassing YouTube video for everybody. All right. Bunk it up. Bunk it up. Bunk it up and bunk it out, bunkaroos. Thanks for listening to Basil's Bunker. Stay bunked. Stay bunkered. Stay in the tall tower. Pray for me. But until then, bunk it up, bunkaroos. Okay, bye-bye. I should play this music. Let's play this music. Here you go.
Welcome to Basil's Bunker, where we have many amenities in the advent of coming societal collapse. Bohemian Grove generators powered by Chinese lithium cobalt batteries. Anti-air defense systems rivaling the IDF Iron Dome. Endless end times food ration buckets. And recreational activities like emu wrangling or Monty Pet training.